What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Risky Ryan Trades. Today, we're going to be taking a look at GameStop, and we're going to talk about, what kind of levels to be looking at. Where should we be taking profits? Are we safe to enter a position right now? What's going on? So, before we fully dive into this, I'm going to hit you with a bunch of information here. Why I have these lines drawn, because I think that's important. You can take a look here. This is 2007, before the Great Financial Crisis, and this is the very bottom in 2020. We draw a Fibonacci extension, and you can see here at the 1.618, which is the golden Fibonacci level, that is where the run ended in 2021. So these Fibonacci levels, they exist, they're real, they matter. So we draw another at the top of that run, down to the bottom of the fall in 2024, and we draw 1.618. That's all the way at $555. So yes, a $555 GameStop is on the table if history were to repeat. Do I think it's going to get up there in the next couple of weeks? No, I don't. However, I do think that some certain other levels are going to be hit. Another thing I like to draw is the Gann. This is a Gann square. It draws up market symmetry. I have it set to 720 by 10. This is a logarithmic scale. It smooths out exponential moves, makes financial charts look a little cleaner to me. Now, and you can see here, this arc, I like to find when there's a drawdown and it follows an arc, because that tends to signify a properly drawn Gann square. So you can see it follows that arc, and we have a 45-degree angle, and that's where it terminates. It finally taps it, and that gives it the green light to pump, right? And that's what it did back here in April of last year. But ever since then, it's just kind of, right? But now we have some big moves coming. So let's take a look at today. Right now, it's trading at about $34, and the candlestick looks kind of ugly, right? However, I think I would not worry, because what it is trying to do is close this gap before moving higher, because that tends to make runs healthier, because typically gaps end up closing. So if it were to jump up here, it might come all the way down to close it before going even higher. So best to get it over with. So is it a buy today? That's up to you. It's not really on any kind of like support level. Like, it would have been better to buy at about $26, because you have a Fibonacci level and a Gann level sitting right there. That would have been a better spot to get in. But, it's up to you. Like this kind of stock it's kind of a gamble anyways, right? I mean, that's the point of GameStop. It's fun. So where is it going? The most sensible place for it to bump its head is right here at $46.48, because it does tend to correlate with this arc. So that's where it's going to encounter its first serious level of resistance. You also have, a key level right here. That's a top of this candle. So, that makes sense. $46.48. After that, we could get to the top of this arc, and that sits right at $70.50. And who knows, that could be the top, and it could just come down this arc until we tap this angle again here, and we could be talking April of 2026 before we go higher, if it were to do that. So I wouldn't bet on this thing going higher than that this year. I really wouldn't. But could it? Absolutely. Look at the moves that it's done in the past. So the next level after that would be the all-time high, which is right here at 119.89, about $120. Probably is $120. After that, we got a Gann level of 170, and then this is where, if it were to just parabolically run up in the next couple of weeks, I think that this is where it would terminate at 235, because from there it could draw down by like 28%, potentially even to the previous all-time high 50%. That would be a hell of a drop to anyone that bought at that level before continuing higher. But yes, this 235, that to me is the most, like, if we get some kind of insane move that just happens over the next couple of weeks, like an unsustainable pump to the upside, that's where I think it ends. I don't think it really goes any higher than that. But I could be wrong. And it could go to 334, 555. That's where I would, potentially sell every last share of my GameStop at that point. So what do you do on the way up? This is what I would recommend. Think about where your position is, what the average cost is on your position, and then be honest with yourself. Let's say that it hit 46.48. How much could you sell where you're okay with selling some? And if it keeps going up, you're okay with selling that. But also, how much would you sell if you knew that was the top? Or if you were fairly confident that's all you get? Like, what if, it hits this and then, it doesn't break that until 2026? You got to think, how much do you want to sell at 46? And a good rule of thumb, sell 20%, 20% of your position here, then 20% of your position and your leftover position. That way you never run out of shares, right? So 20% of what you got, then 20% of what you got at 70, then 20% of what you got at 119. You can also say like, hey, if it hits the all-time high, I want to make X amount of money. And then you make sure that you have that many shares, and then think about how many shares I want to have left over just in case it hits 235 or 170. Have a game plan. But these would be my take profit areas: 46, 70, 120, 170, 235, 335, 555. Those would be my levels to be watching. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment. Let me know what kind of stock, what kind of crypto maybe you want me to take a look at next. And I'll catch you on the next one.